Good evening, everyone. I'm Hannah Lasbury.
And I'm Lauren Christie. Thanks for joining us.
As the war in Ukraine continues, President Zelensky urges the Western allies to supply the country with more weaponry. President Joe Biden announced that the United States will be granting Ukraine with an additional $800 million in aid. How are Eastern students reacting to the Russia-Ukraine conflict? Reporter Kaylee Roberts visited with the campus community to find out.
Against Russia. Join me as I walk through campus to see what fellow Eastern students have to say about the situation. Are you caught up on what's happening in Ukraine currently?
Yeah, my Instagram feed is just full of Ukraine news currently, and so is TikTok, which is like a really good, it's like better than most news media I've noticed. It just makes me like really sad and like concerned because I've also noticed how there's also a lot of racism going on.
I think so. I like to think that. Yeah, sure.
And what can someone like yourself do to help others become educated on what's happening?
Well, I can't really do anything from here, but I guess just spreading news and awareness about what's happening is a good way to start.
I feel like one big thing is like posting on social media and stuff like that, and like staying connected, like watching the news and stuff like that, like informing yourself and being educated, and also like trying to get the word out there to other people.
I can tell everybody where they can go get the information. There's news, there's newspapers, there's television. Go get informed.
With tensions increasing day by day, it is important to keep yourself educated as it is certainly a pressing topic. Be sure to check out all news outlets, both local and national. Reporting for ETV News, I'm Kaylee Roberts.
Eastern is currently conducting a campus-wide survey called the Healthy Mind Study. The purpose of this study is to better understand students' mental health and well-being, sources of support, and other mental and emotional health topics. Students are encouraged to take part in the 25-minute survey to reflect on important topics in their life and within their campus community, as well as have a chance to win prizes. To take part in this opportunity, please see the Eastern email that was sent out by Bryce Casper, the Director of Counseling and Psychological Services. The last day to complete the survey is April 25th.
Attention juniors and seniors, applications for the Bob Eddy Scholarship Program are now open. If you are pursuing a career in journalism, you are eligible to earn up to $2,500 towards your degree at any accredited university in Connecticut. If interested, apply by April 25th by visiting connecticutSBJ.org.
The Department of Communications is pleased to announce that students are now eligible to declare a concentration in social media. This new addition gives students the opportunity to learn competency in the effective use and application of social media. Communications major must take the following courses to declare the specialization: Introduction to Social Media Content, Social Media Design, Social Media Analytics, and Integrated Marketing Communications. For more information, contact Dr. Edelbach or your faculty advisor.
The search for a new Dean of Arts and Sciences is underway as the university is considering 7 candidates for the position. These individuals are scheduled to participate in forums throughout the month of April. Students are encouraged to attend the next forum with Angela Boswell in the Student Center on Monday, April 18th from 4:30 to 5 p.m.
Interested in singing at the graduation commencement? Eastern is looking for students to sing America the Beautiful during the ceremony on Saturday, May 14th, and Tuesday, May 17th. Potential applicants must be a graduate of either the fall 2021 or spring of 2022 semester and must be in good standing with the university. Auditions will be from 1 to 3 p.m. on April 22nd in the Fine Arts Building, room 234. Applications are due by April 15th at 5 p.m. to Amanda Irwin at irwinama@easternct.edu. For more information, contact the Office of Academic Affairs.
Speaking of commencement, Eastern's 132nd commencement speaker has been announced. The class of 2022 will be joined by nonprofit leader Lena Rodriguez in the Excel Center in Hartford, Connecticut. Ms. Rodriguez is the CEO and president of the Community Renewal Team in Hartford, where she has taken on the lead of several projects to help people in need. Prior to joining CRT, Ms. Rodriguez was the Director of Finance for the Division of Special Education in New York, serving more than 20,000 students. Rodriguez will also be receiving her honorary degree from Eastern at the commencement exercises on May 17th.
On April 8th, the senior class took a trip to Mohegan Sun for their 50 days to graduation countdown. Students celebrated at the Avalon Club, who worked with the senior class committee to make the night possible. President of the committee, Karina Torres, said, "I was grateful that we were able to get the event to happen, and I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did," end quote. For more information about future senior trips and events, follow the Senior Class Committee on Instagram at Eastern Seniors.
On Monday, April 11th, the jazz ensemble group The 3 O'Clock Band met in the Fine Arts Institutional Center lobby to perform a pop-up concert. The band, led by Professor O'Neill, featured many Eastern students. Food and refreshments were served as the performers put on various sets for the music enthusiasts that afternoon. Be sure to check the schedule on the Eastern website for any other upcoming performances.
Wondering how Eastern students are reacting to the updated mask mandate on campus? Reporter Fernando Geronimo hit the streets to get the inside scoop.
I'm Fernando Geronimo at Eastern Connecticut State University outside the Sports Center and Student Center, where we'll be interviewing students and faculty about the new COVID mask policy being lifted starting April 4th. What are your thoughts about the COVID mask policy being lifted on April 4th?
I'm excited about it. A lot of high schools around here have already had it lifted. My sister works in a school. It's been lifted for a few weeks, so, I like the way Eastern's handling it, being a little bit safer than most, but I'm ready to go to a mask.
I work with a lot of students who are immune compromised, a lot of students who are not comfortable with the mask mandate being lifted, so that's something that we have been talking about a lot.
So I'm personally pro mask wearing, but I think at the rate we're at now, we're all college students, we make conscious decisions about whether or not we're vaccinated or not. I do think it's good timing.
I'm a dance major, so it'll be really relieving to not have to wear masks. I think personally I'm gonna pick and choose when I wear it. I think just taking it off, I'm a little nervous about it just because we've been wearing them for so long, but I think overall I'm excited.
It's kind of a tricky thing, I feel like, nowadays with the mask being lifted and how people may feel about it. So personally, I feel like it's up to you whether you want to wear the mask or if you don't. Just be able to respect others if they do wear the mask or if they don't wear the mask.
It's something to still consider, like when people are with each other and asking, who's comfortable with it.
I'm a little uneasy about it, honestly. I think it might be a little bit too soon to lift the mask mandate. I think maybe we should have waited until the start of next year.
If that's what all the experts say is allowable now, then I'm for that.
I think it's a really exciting thing because, we've gone 2 pretty long years with everyone, very strictly following the rules, and I think that has put us in a great position to be able to lift the mask mandate, and I'm really excited to see everyone's faces on campus, off campus, at the sports field, so I think it's really exciting.
With different opinions, both from students and faculty here at Eastern Connecticut State University, one thing is for certain, that everyone is excited to take on this new change as a community. Reporting outside the Student Center and Sports Center, I'm Fernando Geronimo with Minar Nani behind the camera, sending it back to the studio.
When we come back, Lexi Nimitz sits down with Carla Pacheco for this week's edition of One-on-One. Don't go anywhere.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Reporter Lexi Nimitz is here in the studio to give us the inside scoop on the upcoming events sponsored by the WECS Radio Club here at Eastern. Let's take a look.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of One-on-One. Today we have Eastern Senior and Studio Manager Carla Pacheco joining us. Hey Carla.
Hi, lovely to be here.
We are incredibly lucky to have such a wonderful radio station here at Eastern. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So we have a fully licensed radio station. It serves the students, it serves community members, and we have people who've been doing the show for 30 years. We have people who've been doing it for a semester, so it's a really cool place to be.
That sounds so cool. And there is a club that goes along with the station, right?
Yes, the WEX Radio Club doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a radio show if you're in the club, but you know, it's always a good way to get involved.
And we know that Eastern clubs have exec boards to help keep the clubs running and stable. Holding a presidential position within the club, what do your duties entail?
So as president of Radio Club, I handle more of the organizational matters. I get to delegate tasks, which is kind of cool, but I also have to make the connections and come up with planning lists whenever we have event ideas. So if a club member says, hey, we should do a game night, it's up to me to figure out how to make that logistically possible.
Very cool. Sounds like a fun position to have within the club. Now, I see around campus, Radio Club seems to be very involved. I've seen a couple posters for some events you guys are hosting soon. Want to tell me a little bit more about those?
Yeah, of course. So first up, next Tuesday, April 19th, the public library reached out to us about collaborating, so we'll be hosting an open mic with them from 5 to 7:30. And then on the last day of classes, May 6th, from 5 to 9, we're attempting to put on a music festival featuring alumni and current student bands.
Very cool. And what do events like this do for Radio Club in the Eastern community?
It definitely helps garner interest, which is all that we need right now because, you know, as people tend to turn more towards streaming news and streaming music, it seems like radio is falling behind, but we're doing our part to keep it alive because it is anything but a dying medium.
So having a radio show and being involved in Radio Club seems like an excellent opportunity for students. However, I know a lot of students wonder, do you have to be a communications student to join and have your own radio show?
Not at all. I'm a new media major, and that's actually how I found my way into all of this. I went to one Radio Club meeting, and they mentioned something about someone having a show, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. What do I have to do? And they're like, nothing. You just sign up. You don't have to be a comm major. You don't even have to stay in the club. You don't have to be at all in this building in order to care and be involved with the radio station.
That is so cool. That seems like a really fun opportunity that students that aren't communication majors also get to have a chance to dip their toes into something so cool.
Yeah.
What is the process for students wondering how to make their own show? What process do they have to do to sign up for one?
Yeah, so if you want a radio show, all you have to do is go to wecsfm.com and click on our DJ portal. There are tabs for new applicants, for returning applicants. Once you have your show, you know, you meet with whoever's the studio manager. Currently it's me. I'll be graduating though. Whoever takes my place will be whoever handles that, or you can always talk to John Zatowski, who is supervisor, head of operations over there, and you'll be kind of set to go.
That sounds like an easy process for students. That sounds really cool. I really appreciate that it's that simple for students who may not be able to know what's going on. So being in Radio Club yourself and being a studio manager, I assume you have your own radio show. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my show is called Podcast with a K, and my DJ name is Carla with a K, for obvious reasons. And I kind of host a variety show of sorts. I feature interviews, I feature new music, I let my guests choose the topics and the songs that they want to put on air, and we kind of just have it back and forth, and then we just kind of segue into wherever the conversation takes us, because that's how the show got started. I just thought some people had some interesting things to say, and I was like, well, you know, why don't we let the people hear it?
I love that idea. It really shows that students can have whatever ideas they want for their own type of radio show.
And those topics ranged through anything. We've talked about conspiracy theories, we've talked about pop culture, we've talked about what we had for lunch that day. You know, it goes everywhere.
That's awesome. Now, as a graduating senior and working for WECS, how do you feel that this has prepared for you to enter the real world after graduating?
It's a lot of real world experience. I've gotten to see what it's like to be on the mic, behind the scenes, in production, how to talk to people in the industry. That's probably one of the more valuable things, I think, is learning how to navigate those relationships, because that's what gets you places.
Sounds like you've learned a lot in your time here with the Radio Club. Now, I know every college senior dreads hearing this question because you hear it all the time, especially now that we're entering the end of April and May. But what are your future plans after you leave Eastern?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I've made a lot of really important, really strong, and really valuable connections. And I've been in talks with people in all sorts of fields now in radio. And so my goal is to kind of continue that path. like I said, I stumbled upon it as a very happy accident, but now I can't see my life without it.
Well, we at ETV wish you the best of luck with
Thank
whatever
you.
endeavors you approach after you graduate in May. Now, what advice would you give to current and future Eastern students who may want to get into radio, both for communication students and non-communication?
Yeah, just go for it. Honestly, try it out, see if you like it. If being on the mic isn't for you, there's a place for you in production. If that's not for you, there's a place for you in PR and even in answering emails and website management, you know? It's its own like miniature business. There's something for everyone.
That's a great piece of advice, and I hope students will take that and run with it during their time here at Eastern. Is there anything you would like the Eastern community to know before we close out?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I'm a senior. I'll be graduating. That means student manager position is opening up. We just inducted a new e-board to radio club. Really strong leadership, I believe. So get involved in any way you can and see where it takes you.
Very good, very good. Now, shamelessly plug any Instagram, radio, yourself.
Yeah, so you can follow Radio Club at ECSU Radio. You can follow the radio station at WECS-FM. You can catch my show Sundays at 11 p.m. On WECSFM.com, 90.1 FM, or you can just search on your preferred podcast listening platform, Podcast with a K.
Very cool. Thank you so much for being a part of our one-on-one segment today. It was very interesting to learn about the world of radio here at Eastern, which is definitely something that I wanted to learn more about, and it was very interesting to talk to you about that today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this week's edition of One-on-One. I'm Lexi Nimitz. Back to you, Hannah and Lauren.
Thanks, Lexi. Still ahead, we have the latest on the Brooklyn mass shooting and the updated mass policy on public transit. This and more next.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Hannah Lasbury. Yesterday, in Massachusetts, a car chase ensued as 36-year-old Ian Grant fled the authorities. According to the Massachusetts State Police Department, Grant was wanted for assault and intimidation of a witness. The Rhode Island Police Department also released a statement claiming Grant was a suspect in an arson case that occurred last Tuesday around 2 p.m. The driver was finally arrested in Connecticut and is currently being held in the state for several endangerment charges.
New York City has officially named a person of interest in Tuesday's shooting. 10 people were shot and 13 were injured as a gunman wearing a gas mask threw smoke canisters and opened fire in a subway car. Investigators recovered a gun, multiple magazines, ammunition, a hatchet, and a container of what is believed to be gasoline. From the Brooklyn subway station, the manhunt for the 5'5", 180-pound suspect continues.
A deadly police shooting in Grand Rapids, Michigan has led to the outrage and investigation by state police. 26-year-old Patrick Lyola was killed during a traffic stop. The local police department released the video that captured the altercation from several angles: body cam footage, in-car video, and a neighbor's doorbell video and cell phone video from the passenger in Lyola's car. Following the release, protesters gathered outside the police headquarters in Grand Rapids.
The Biden administration has announced that they are extending the nationwide mask mandate requirement for all public transportation. The Center for Disease Control made the recommendation to extend this deadline following the uptick in coronavirus cases in the U.S. This decision has been made in an effort to monitor the BA.2 Omicron subvariant and to keep travelers safe while on airplanes and other forms of public transit.
After 2 years, a missing autistic teenager has been found in Summit County. Over the weekend, dispatch received a call about a man sleeping outside a convenience store. The boy's family drove from Idaho Falls to Park City to greet him with open arms.
Believe it or not, you can now use your hand as a form of payment. The British-Polish company Walletmore is selling microchips that can be implanted under the skin to replace the traditional credit card. According to the company, the chip costs $300 and allows you to pay by waving your hand over any card reader in the world. Currently, these chips are being sold to the citizens in the United Kingdom, Switzerland, and countries in the European Union.
Police rescued a woman after she was held captive by a relative for nearly 18 hours in Guilford, Connecticut. Guilford police responded to the scene on Fitch Hill Road, where the man barricaded himself in a home with the woman. The woman inside was heard yelling, causing SWAT to respond to the hostage situation. The man inside was found dead from a gunshot wound, which is believed to be self-inflicted. The rescued woman was taken to the hospital with no reported injuries.
From April 16th to the 23rd, all national parks will be participating in a variety of activities to celebrate National Park Week. According to the National Park Service, all national park entrance fees will be waived on April 16th. Representatives claim there are over 400 parks available to visit. To find a parking review, visit the National Park Service website.
With Easter just around the corner, Bluebird Candy Factory in Utah is selling 8-pound chocolate bunnies for $130. These bunnies are available in milk, dark, and white chocolate varieties. All unsold bunnies will be melted down after Easter to be sold as smaller chocolate bars.
Looking for even more sweets? Nestle Toll House is now selling stuffed cookie dough. This July, you can expect to find the new dough in stores. Consumers will have the choice between chocolate chip cookie dough with fudge filling and double chocolate chip cookie dough with salted caramel filling.
After the break, ETV News' Fernando Geronimo brings us a spring sports update. We'll be right back.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps. Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back, everyone. Fernando Geronimo is here with a look at what's up in Eastern sports. Hey, Fernando.
Thanks, guys. Baseball stayed hot this week, going 3-0, outscoring their opponents 70-10. They went on to beat UMass Dartmouth, Western Connecticut, and Anna Maria as they remain undefeated in the LEC, having won 8 straight in a row. All-American third baseman Luke Broadhurst, winning Hitter of the Week last week, stayed hot as he recorded 2 home runs, bringing his total to 8 on the season. Matt Malcolm also went on to strike 2 home runs on his stat line to bring his total up to 7. Graduate right-hander Tommy Benincasa was on the mound for Eastern as he limited Anna Maria to 6 hits without a walk and struck out 8 over the first 7 innings. With 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, Matt Malcolm broke the score as he went deep to right center field for a 3-run homer. As his second straight game with a 3-run home run, and Eastern never looked back after that. Then, in the bottom of the third, Jack Rich laid down a bunt that resulted in Luke Broadhurst sliding to home plate, but a name to remember as we move over to the bottom of the 6th inning, as Luke Broadhurst sends this one deep to center field for a 3-run shot to give Eastern a 17-2 lead, as they would be about it in this one. Eastern compiled its 6th straight game of at least 15 hits, 10 different batters had at least 1 hit, 10 score at least 1 run, and 7 knocked in at least 1 run as Eastern defeats Anna Maria 18-2. The win against Anna Maria gives head coach Brian Ham his 300th career win, as he has won 79 games in the last 4 seasons at Eastern after winning 221 games in 9 seasons at Amherst College. His 13-year overall head coaching record is 300 and 142, having a 67.9 winning percentage. Eastern's baseball next home matchup will be on Tuesday, April 19th at 4 p.m. as they take on Keene State College. As we move over to softball, they stayed hot, winning both their doubleheaders against Wesleyan University and Western Connecticut, outscoring them 23-1. The 6 nationally ranked Warriors swept WestCon 11-1 over 12 innings. It was a 5-for-5 afternoon for graduate outfielder Cassie Woods, a 5 RBI day for senior third baseman Julia Sangiovanni, and 11 innings of shutout ball for senior pitcher Morgan Bolduc and sophomore pitcher Alexis Mitchin, who each recorded 10 strikeouts. Eastern softball next home matchup will be on Tuesday as they take on Keene State in a doubleheader starting at 3 p.m. As we look into men's lacrosse, they split their games this week, beating Plymouth State 16-13 and getting a tough loss at WestCon 8-18, moving their record to 4-7 overall. Their next game will be on April 20th at 7 p.m. as they travel to Massachusetts to face Maritime Academy. Women's lacrosse had a similar week as they split their games, losing 9-11 against Southern Maine and defeating Rhode Island College 25-4 to move their record to 6-4 on the season. Finally, men's golf traveled to Rhode Island College for their invitational over the weekend, and those stats can be found at GoWarriorAthletics.com. Be sure to keep up with all our daily content regarding Eastern Athletics by following our social media at ECSU Athletics, and our streams, as always, are powered by Sidearm Sports and Blue Frame Technology. That is all for this week around Eastern Athletics. Guys, back to you.
That wraps up this edition of ETV News. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From Director Manara Anani, producer Megan Selinsky, and the entire ETV News staff, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time, Eastern.